Pagan. Once an insult, today, a spiritual practice that's growing by the thousands every year. In the US, over 1 million people identify as pagans, and the numbers continue to grow. Headlines like this show that paganism is experiencing a revival in a way it hasn't since ancient times. What is causing this renewed interest in paganism? And why do many see this as a threat to society? Chapter 1. The evolution of paganism. Because paganism refers to a wide range of spiritual beliefs and practices, we can't pinpoint just one location or point in time for its origin. What we do know is that pagan practices were prevalent across the globe, from the ancient Egyptian religion to the Roman pantheon, and from the Norse gods to the various Celtic deities. These beliefs were deeply woven into the cultures they originated from. Nature, deities, and spirits played a significant role in daily life. However, with the advent and spread of Christianity, especially after it became the state religion of the Roman Empire in the 4th century, ancient pagan practices started to decline in Europe. Pagan temples were sometimes converted to churches, and pagan rituals were either abandoned or assimilated into Christian practices. It was only during this period that the word pagan began to be used to refer to people who were supposedly uneducated and uncivilized for not following the Christian faith. The very word pagan comes from the Latin paganus, meaning rustic or rural. It was clear that the world had changed. Christianity was increasingly becoming associated with urban centers of power and sophistication. It was the religion of emperors, kings, scholars, and merchants, with its doctrines and rituals at the heart of political authority, intellectual life, and economic networks. Ironically enough, many pagan practices were adopted by early Christianity, but that's a topic for another video. From here on, paganism declined. During the Middle Ages, the Christian Church sought to eradicate pagan beliefs. This was especially true during the later medieval period, where the term pagan was often associated with heretics and those practicing witchcraft. This period saw the infamous witch trials and the persecution of individuals believed to be engaging in pagan practices. Roughly 100,000 people were tried for witchcraft and 50,000 were executed. However, the tide slowly shifted. During the Renaissance, there was a renewed interest in ancient pagan cultures, especially Greek and Roman mythology. This period saw a revival of ancient texts and a newfound appreciation for the art and culture of antiquity, which often had pagan themes. This continued into the late 19th and 20th centuries. There was a revival of pagan beliefs, often referred to as neo-paganism. One of the most notable movements within neo-paganism is Wicca, which emerged in the mid-20th century in England. Today, paganism is an umbrella term that includes a vast array of beliefs and practices. While Wicca is well known, there are also Druidry, Asatru, Hellenism, and many other pagan traditions being practiced. Modern paganism often places a strong emphasis on nature and can be very individualistic, with practitioners adapting beliefs and practices to suit their personal spirituality. The internet has allowed for the sharing of pagan beliefs and practices on a global scale. People can now easily research different traditions, connect with like-minded individuals, and even participate in virtual rituals and gatherings. What do pagans believe in? Say the word pagan, and most people imagine witches casting spells, engaging in malevolent rituals, or calling on the devil. There's darkness and sorcery, evil and death. But in reality, paganism is really quite benign. Much like most religions, pagans participate in a wide array of spiritual beliefs and practices, often tied to reverence for nature and the worship of ancient gods and goddesses. This can include meditation, divination such as tarot reading, spell work, and the creation of altars for worship and honoring deities. They also find meaning in pagan symbols, ancient icons that go back thousands of years. These practices are about finding balance, celebrating the cycles of the earth, and connecting with a deeper sense of spirituality and community. Chapter 2. Types of Paganism Today. By now, it's clear that paganism is an umbrella term, under which exist various paths and traditions. These are reconstructions or revivals of ancient practices, while others are modern interpretations. Here are some types of paganism practiced today. 1. Wicca. A modern pagan witchcraft religion. It's also the most popular. Wiccans often worship a goddess and a horned god, celebrate the cycles of the moon, and observe the wheel of the year. 2. Druidry. Inspired by the ancient Celtic Druids, modern Druidry focuses on the worship of nature, the ancestors, and the ancient gods of the Celtic pantheon. It also emphasizes creativity and the arts. 3. Asatru or heathenry. A revival of the ancient Norse and Germanic religions. It focuses on the worship of certain Norse gods. Heathenry emphasizes ancestry, community, and values like courage and honor. 4. Hellenism. A revival of ancient Greek religion, focusing on the worship of the Greek gods like Zeus, Hera, and Athena. Hellenism seeks to reconstruct ancient Hellenic practices and beliefs. 5. Kemetism. A revival of ancient Egyptian religion with the worship of gods such as Isis, Osiris, and Re. It often involves the reconstruction of ancient Egyptian rituals and beliefs. 6. Shamanism. While shamanism is not strictly pagan, many pagans incorporate shamanic practices which involve connecting with spirits, ancestors, and other worlds, often through trance and altered states. It's important to note that these paths can be very diverse, and individual practices within them can vary widely. Additionally, new traditions and paths continue to emerge. Chapter 3. How is paganism today different from paganism in the past? So how does modern paganism differ from ancient paganism? One main difference is that much of ancient paganism was an integral part of the culture and daily life of the people who practiced them. However, modern paganism is often a chosen spiritual path in a predominantly non-pagan society. It doesn't impact every aspect of life as it did in the past. Many ancient pagan traditions were also rooted in specific geographic areas and were tied to local customs, myths, and nature. Modern paganism, on the other hand, is often practiced by people who may not have a direct cultural link to the traditions they are adopting. Another noteworthy difference is that ancient pagan religions usually didn't have sacred texts in the way that some modern religions do, and much of their lore and practices were passed down orally. Modern pagans often have to rely on historical research and sometimes speculation to reconstruct ancient practices. Chapter 4. Why is paganism gaining popularity today? As we've already discussed, paganism is on the rise. But why? Isn't paganism outdated? Wasn't it the religion of uneducated people who knew little else? Well, that's to be debated. One could argue the same for most religions. But if we look a little closer, it's clear that paganism is in line with many of the values and concerns that many people tend to gravitate toward. For one thing, most people are seeking spiritual paths that emphasize a close connection with nature and ancient wisdom. As environmental concerns grow, paganism's reverence for the earth resonates with people who want to cultivate a more sustainable and harmonious relationship with the natural world. Paganism also provides a more flexible and personal spiritual practice, which appeals to people who may be disillusioned with the dogma and institutional aspects of mainstream religions. Another factor is the increasing interest in ancestry and heritage. People are looking to reconnect with the beliefs and practices of their ancestors, finding a sense of identity and belonging in ancient traditions. And the rise of the internet and social media has made it easier for like-minded individuals to connect, share information, and build communities around pagan practices. Today, pagans have turned the page on a tumultuous history, leaving behind the shadow of government-sanctioned persecution to emerge as a respected facet of contemporary spirituality. As paganism takes root in the 21st century, there are different perspectives on this. Some Christians may see it as a threat to society and to the established order of things, whereas others may welcome it in line with religious tolerance. What's your take on this? Let us know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, please like, share, and subscribe. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.